Hello students, welcome back to lecture 19 Gigabit Ethernet of IP Datagram Unit 3. Course name is Internet and Web Technology and course code 1618503. In this lecture, we are going to cover about Gigabit Ethernet and physical layer of Gigabit Ethernet, MAC layer of Gigabit Ethernet and carrier extension, packet bursting and buffer distributor and topologies. First we will see that what is Gigabit Ethernet. So Gigabit Ethernet that also same as Ethernet and fast Ethernet. So the Gigabit Ethernet is a version of the Ethernet technology broadly used in the local area networks for transmitting Ethernet frames at 1 Gbps. So it is used as a backbone of many networks. So particularly those of large organizations. So Gigabit Ethernet is an extension to the preceding 10 Mbps and 100 Mbps A023 Ethernet standard. So it support 1000 Mbps, that is bandwidth, while maintaining full compatibility with the installed base of around 100 million Ethernet nodes. So Gigabit Ethernet usually employs optical fiber connection to transmit information at a very high speed over long distance. So for shortened distance, copper cables and twisted pair connections are used. Okay, but optical fiber connection can be used for the long distance with very high speed data transmission. So Gigabit Ethernet is abbreviated GB or 1 Zigbee. So Gigabit Ethernet is supported by 5 physical layer standards. So the IEEE 302.3 standard incorporates that a 1000 base SX for data transmission via multiple that is multimode optical fiber. In addition, that IEEE 802.3 set includes that is 1000 base LX over single mode fiber and 1000 base CX via copper cabling for transmission. So these standards use 8B or 10B encoding, but the IEEE standard 802.3AB is known as interface type of 1000 base T. So that uses a different encoding sequence for transmission over twisted pair cable. So benefits of this Gigabit okay Ethernet. So the first transmission rate is 100 times greater than that basic Ethernet or fast Ethernet, and reduce bottleneck problems and enhances bandwidth capacity, resulting in superior performance, and it is offer the full duplex capacity that can provide virtually doubled bandwidth, and it is offers cumulative bandwidth for faster speed by employing gigabit server adapters and switches, and quality of service features that is reduced latency problems and offers better video and audio services, and highly affordable to own and compatible with existing installed Ethernet nodes, and transfer a large amount of data quickly. So these all the benefits that can support to the Gigabit Ethernet. So there is a layers, there is a physical layers. That physical layers we will see that different versions are there. See the physical layer, that is 1000 base X standard is based on the fiber channel physical layer. Gigabit Ethernet, and from that Gigabit Ethernet there is a 2-way and 4-way versions, that is 1000 base X Ethernet and 1000 base T. under the 1000 by CX Ethernet, there is a 1000 by CX and 1000 by CXX and a 1000 by LX. So the fiber channel is an interconnection technology for connecting workstation, supercomputers, storage devices, and peripherals. So 1000 by CX and 1000 by XX. 1000 by CX defined by IEEE 802.3 Z standard. And what is the difference? 1000 by CX that is defined by IEEE 802.3 Z standard, and 1000 by CX that initial standard for gigabit Ethernet, but 1000 by CSX uses a pair of fiber optic cables of shorter wavelength having 770 to 860 nanometer diameter. Diameter. So the 1000 by CX uses shield twisted pair cables and with a D9 or 8P8C connector. And the 1000 by CX maximum segment length is 25 meter, and it uses NRZ line encoding and 8B6B block encoding. At the same time, the 1000 by SX, the maximum segment length varies from 220 to 550 meters depending upon the fiber properties. So that uses NRZ line encoding and 8B or 10B block encoding. Then there is a 1000 base LX and 1000 base T. We will see that 1000 base LX Ethernet, fast Ethernet is defined by IEEE 802.3 is the standard, and uses pair of fiber optic cables of longer wavelength having 1270 to 1355 nanometer diameter. So maximum segment length is 500 meters and can cover distance up to 5 kilometers. So that uses NRZ line encoding and 8B or 10B block encoding. Again, we will see that a 1000 base T, that is defined by 1000 defined by IEEE 802.3 AB standards, and it uses the pair 4 lands of twisted pair cables, that is category 5, category 5E, category 6, category 7, and its maximum segment length is 100 meters and uses Terrell's code modulation and techniques. So next we will see that MAC layer of gigabit Ethernet uses the same CSMA CD protocol. The maximum length of the cable segment used to connect station is limited by the CSMA or CD protocol. So if two stations simultaneously detect an ideal medium and start transmitting, a collision occur. So Ethernet has a minimum frame size of 64 byte. The reason for having minimum size frame is to prevent a station from completing the transmission of a frame before the first bit has reached the far end of the cable, so where it may collide with another frame. So therefore, the minimum time to detect a collision is time it takes for the signal to propagate from one to other. So the minimum time is called the slot time. So the maximum cable length permitted in Ethernet is 2.5 kilometer. So maximum 4 repeaters are on any path. So as the bit rate increases, the sender transmit the frame faster. As the result, if the same frame sizes and the cable length are maintained, then a station may be transmit a frame too fast and not detect a collision at the other end of the cable. So one of two things has to be done. So keep the maximum cable length and increase the slot time, or keep the slot time same and decrease the maximum cable length, or both. So in fast Ethernet, the maximum cable length is reduced to only 100 meters. So leaving the maximum frame size and slot time intact. So that MAC layer, Gigabit Ethernet, maintain the minimum and the maximum frame sizes of Ethernet. Since Gigabit Ethernet is 10 times faster than fast Ethernet, so to maintain the same slot size, maximum cable length would have to be reduced to about 10 meters, which is not very useful. So instead, Gigabit Ethernet uses bigger slot size of 512 bytes. To maintain compatibility with Ethernet, the minimum frame size is not increased, but the carrier event is extended. So if the frame is shorter than 512 byte, then it is padded with the extension symbol. No, these are the special symbol which cannot occur the payload. So this process is called the carrier extension. So we will see that carrier extension. What is that? Gigabit Ethernet should be interoperable with existing 802.3 networks. So the carrier extension is a way of maintaining 802.3 minimum and maximum frame sizes with meaningful cabling distances. For carrier extended frames, the non-data extension symbols are included in the collation window. That is, the entire extended frame is considered for collation and drop. However, the frame check sequence is calculated only on the original frame. So the extension symbol are removed before the FCS, that is frame check sequence is checked by the receiver. So the receiver. So the logical link control layer is not even aware of the carrier extension. So figure one shows that in the Ethernet frame format when carrier extension is used. See here, that is first preamble and SFDA DA is a type length data FCS extension. So here there is a 64 byte minimum and 512 byte uh, minimum and the duration of the carrier event. So this image shows the Ethernet frame format with the carrier extension. So SFD means the start of frame delimiter, and DA means a destination address, SA means source address. FCS means nothing but it's a frame check sequence. Next one, packet busting. Carrier extension is a simple solution, but it wastes bandwidth. Up to 448 padding bytes may be sent for small packets. This results in low throughput. In fact, for a large number of small packets, the throughput is only marginally better than fast Ethernet. Packet busting is an extension of carrier extension. Packet busting is carrier extension plus a burst of packets. So when a station has a number of packets to transmit, the first packet is padded to the slot time if necessary using carrier extension. So subsequent packets are transmitted back to back with the minimum inter packets gap until the burst timer. So until the burst timer expires. So packet bursting sustainably increases the throughput. Example figure 2 shows that how packet bursting works. So this is the image shows that how the packet burst is working. So there is a carrier sense. The slot time is 512 bytes, but transmit data packet 1 there is a data, and packet 2 there is a bits, packet 3 also bits, and packet 4 etc. So it is this is the image shows that how the packet busting is working. Buffered distributor. Ethernet today support full duplex media, physical layer as well as MAC layer. However, it still support half duplex operation to maintain compatibility. A new device has been proposed which provide hub functionality with full duplex mode of operation. It is called various names such as buffer distributor, full duplex repeater, and buffer repeater. A buffer distributor is a multi-port repeater with full duplex links. So each port has an input FIFO-Q and an output FIFO-Q. A frame added to an input queue is forwarded to all output queues except the one of the incoming port. So within the distributor CSMA or CD, attribution is done to forward the frames to output queues. So buffer distributor, since collection can no longer occur on links, the distance restriction no longer apply. So the only restriction on cabling distances is the characteristics of the physical medium and not the CSMA or CD protocol. Since the sender can flood the FIFO frame based on base flow control is used between the port and the sending station. So this is defined in the 802.3x standard and already used in Ethernet switches. So the motivation behind the development of the buffer distributor is its cost compared to a gigabit switch and not need to accommodate half duplex media. So the buffer distributor provides full duplex connectivity. So just like a switch. Yes, it is no so expensive because it's just an extension of a repeater. This image shows that buffered distributed architecture. Topologies. So this is one of the essential types. There is a four types of hardware are needed to upgrade an existing Ethernet or fast Ethernet network to gigabit Ethernet. So there is a gigabit Ethernet network interface card. Aggregate the switches that connect a number of fast Ethernet segments to gigabit Ethernet. Gigabit Ethernet switches, gigabit Ethernet repeaters are buffered distributors. So, summary of this lecture, hopefully, this presentation, you may have learned that what is gigabit Ethernet and its physical and MAC layer, what is carrier extension, and packet busting and buffer distributor. So this is the reference of these books. Please go through these books and get additional information about this lecture. Thank you.